Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Greg Batten against Perry Durant, live at the Con Club for £500 each, first to 17 frames. Gregory won the lag, and he won't be shocked to see that he's got a dry break. And looks like a chance for Perry in the first frame for a clearance. Can't see a problem for Perry to win this frame from here. Probably just some screw in the reverse side. Play for a choice of all three yellows probably at this end. Oh, that was a great shot. Oh no. Yeah, he's had a nice touch. Did well to get through the gap if that's what he played. Might have made things a little bit awkward landing that close to the yellow. Be careful not to double hit the white. He's going to have some work to do here, I think. Maybe a few nerves playing their part in the first frame. Could take either yellow. It's not easy to get nicely on the other one to get on the black, but we'll see how he goes about it. So just a good positional shot now needed. Black only goes into one pocket that you'd like to play for. Play it with running right hand side or screw and left. Neither shot is very pleasant. Played it with right hand side, not really hit it. So it needs a good pot. It's not in any danger of knocking the red in with the white, so just 100% on this pot I would have thought. And it's too thin, so expect Greg to dish these. If it was later in the match, maybe be a 10 out of 10 dish, possibly later on. We'll see if he's a little nervous, possibly in the first frame. It looked like he was going to lose the frame, so he'll be be excited about the thought of stealing the frame straight away. First frame being quite important. Probably want to leave an angle on this red just to run down the middle of the table and play the plant, but something's giving him a bit of thought. That's nicely played. These are the types of balls you feel good about knocking in at the start of a match, give you some confidence. Maybe not as easy as you'd have liked it, but they played it in such a way to cover the black, but wouldn't be surprised if Perry can just knock it in off the cushion, but it's not right in the pocket, so it takes some judgment. That's pretty good. Greg will need a good shot here, whichever he decides to play. Tough to see him playing a snooker again. It's probably going to be an easy enough hit, I think. Probably trying to play an attacking shot of some sort. Trying to see if that one pots. So Perry wins the first frame after a few chances for both players. Be interested to see how he goes about this. Difficult to see a clearance, but he played an attacking shot there, trying to open things up, hope for a bit of luck. It'll be a safety shot now. Could see a bit of to and fro in this frame, probably some tactics. Neither set of balls look too good. Probably rather be reds in this situation, but if Perry's not careful, there is a possibility of a clearance if he left Greg the first yellow, and he could get on the one that pots out of the cluster of three. I wouldn't be surprised to see him clear up, but it's not going to be this visit. That might be what Greg's looking for eventually, because it's difficult to see him. Well, he might be able to get the edge here in tactical play if he can get the yellow over the pocket. A little bit lucky there, didn't get the yellow right in the pocket. But hasn't left it easy for Perry to take the pocket back. Even if he potted one, he couldn't really get on a red to put over the pocket. The black will be an interesting ball if it did stay there, although probably won't do, but if someone got in for a clearance, they'd really be thinking about how to get that black out or get on it somewhere. But I think there's a bit of mileage left in this frame. Can see Greg looking at a positive shot here, trying to open things up. It looks too difficult to clear up still. But he's always looking for that kind of thing. He's just going to take the pocket by the look of it, and it's gone in. He might have put himself in a bit of trouble. It was only really a containing safety. Anyway, Perry could have cleared one of his yellows from that corner, but tough to see a shot for Greg now that will give him a real edge. He's hit the yellow, the red first, so if Perry can pot one now, it looks like a good chance with two visits. Only really one difficult red, but with two you'd expect a clearance, so this is an important shot. I'm going to prefer that in. Still, I expect we'll see him continue to try and clear the table. I would have thought, I personally would play the red on the cushion with loads of left and try and develop his other red. Well, maybe that's a bit high risk, I'm not really sure. Depends, if he's confident in his potting he might go for that shot. If he got it, it should clear up. And if he's not confident, Greg's yellow's in a bit of a tricky position, so there's nothing wrong with the safety here if he fancies it. Well, maybe he'll play to develop that red now. He's got the angle on the one nearest the left corner. I think that's pretty good. If he can clip this red in, ideally he would want to avoid the black, but he might just clip the black in doing so. It's tough to tell from here. He could avoid the black, so should be 2-0 in a few shots. If he leaves the one on the top cushion till last, he'll just have to be careful that he doesn't leave a tricky black. But he doesn't have to leave that one till last. He can play this one and the one in the centre and then play that one first. I'm sure he will do that. Be some pressure off that pot as he's got one of the pockets taken. So it's best to play this one now, and just need to be careful controlling the white now. The white could run away if he's not careful when they're close to the pocket. It's not always easy to control. Now he's played it nicely, so pairing will be 2-0 up.
Got that one, mate?
So that's the third dry break we've seen already in the first 3 frames. I'm sure that'll change, but it's a pretty big thing. If you pot off the majority of breaks, it gives you a massive advantage. It's something that I know Greg struggles with a little bit. I guess he's just, anybody who struggles with it is just very unlucky as far as I can tell. There are strategies to breaking off, but I mean, you hit them as hard as you can and things never go in. It's quite baffling. So it's given Perry a chance here, and he's taken the first 4 balls very nicely. And now the easiest part of the clearance is left to come. Again, just needing to make sure that off the last red, presuming that that will be the one nearest the bulk line, that he makes sure he doesn't do anything silly and getting on the black and snooker himself or anything like that. A nice easy last few shots is what you're looking for, and he's taking these very nicely again. Just need to screw down the table, probably aim for the yellow in the middle with the white, and anywhere around there he'd be perfect on the black. It's going to be hampered over this yellow, but shouldn't be a problem. So he started very well. Greg would like to get on the board very soon if it starts to... It's a very long match, but if Greg's 5 or 6-0 down, it's going to feel like he's got a long way to go, so he'd be a bit anxious possibly trying to get his first frame on the board, but that kind of thing is very small really. It's just if the situation's there where you're probably going to win the frame, then the fact that you're 3-0 behind probably won't change that too much. You'll still, especially in a long match, so he won't be panicking just yet. But Perry started very well, missed very few balls. Another dry break. Difficult to tell at this stage if it's a real chance for a clearance, but even if Greg can pot a few and take control of the frame, he'd like to get his arm going. It's been, well, out-potted so far. He's certainly not potted many balls. Perry's got his cueing arm going, so he'll be a lot more comfortable at present. Greg's probably a bit unlucky that they didn't split better. Certainly doesn't want to go for him and leave an opportunity for Perry to clear again, so we'll see how he goes about it. Slight possibility on reds, I think. He's going to need a good cannon at some point. Maybe now he's played the cannon and that's worked out about as well as it can have done. He's been unlucky where the white's finished. That kind of thing just goes against you, it seems, when your opponent has started well or you're struggling yourself. If Greg was in full flow, he'd be perfect on this red. In fact, I think he's been so unlucky that he may not even be able to control the white. He may, if he can, just roll up to the red, touch the cushion, lay a snooker if he can. And if he can do that, that's the easiest shot, I think. But I think the red might be too far off the cushion. So, see what he does. Looks like he's playing the pot in the middle. That's what he's looking at. Running the white off 2 cushions, it would get him probably back in position, but if the yellow was nearer the middle and it's a big pocket, you'd fancy him to get it, but it does look missable at this stage. I wonder what he's doing now. It looks like he played the double, so well, he's not one of Perry's yellows into the cluster down there by the black. Although I don't know if he can screw into that cluster now off this yellow to the middle. He probably doesn't look like he's playing that. If he can do, he may take the risk. Things are going his way just now. It might be too thin, I'm not sure from this angle. See how low he cues on the white. Doesn't look like he's cueing low enough to play that shot. He may well be. Yeah, it was just too thin to play that, so he's missed it on the thick side. And if Greg can, you can't see the one to the corner, but if he can clip the one in the middle and control the white, which I'm not sure he can, but if he can, I would expect him to be able to make a chance from this shot. We'll see if he can hold the white for the red by his hand. Oh, he could hold it for the one to the middle, so if he's on the one to the corner, he'll probably play it. That's going to be his only tricky ball. I may have played for it there, to be honest, if he could, but maybe position to the next red would have been tricky from there. It's hard to say. So just little situations that feel harder when you haven't got a frame on the board, you haven't got started in the match. You know, like I say, in full flow you'd make these disappear in no time, but it's just getting on the red by the top cushion that's going to be the only problem. If he leaves it till last, he's obviously risking snookering himself on it and really giving up control of the frame. It looks like he's leaving it till last, so this better not be dead straight. He'd like a little angle, or in fact if it's just off straight so that the white will go towards the yellows, it's a little tricky. You might be able to just roll to the gap. He'd like to roll to the cushion if he can. Oh, he's played to the other corner, so that was a nice shot, and one more good pot and it should be all she wrote for this frame. Again, he would just like something a little easier to get his first frame on the board, but they're quite generous down the cushions, so be surprised to see him miss it. And that's a good pot. I made sure he hit it hard enough to leave an easy enough black. So Greg should be off the mark now. Well played. So this would be a good time for Greg to get a good break, pot a few. Well, one will do. Split them nicely. If he can break and clear and make it 3-2, then it's virtually back to level. Winning a convincing frame. To get within one is, you feel as though you're level virtually. That's what you'd be aiming for now. And it's dry again. And they have split well on this occasion, so doesn't look like Perry can pot a yellow. He'll probably be taking the reds, and they're all in the open, but some yellows are blocking some pockets and stuff, so it's gonna take some figuring out. That's a good pot. Well controlled as well. So the one in the middle of the table is going to be a key red. I think he'd like to have been nearer the cushion with that shot. Well, he was able to control it, so the one in the middle is the key red. He needs to get on that so that you can get on the one by the bulk line. And I think the black goes into both the bottom corner pockets, so if he did get on the one on the bulk line, you'd think he should be able to get on the black to make it easy enough to pot. So it's all about this shot, getting from that red to the one in the middle of the table. Well, he's taking his eye off the red, I would have thought, so great chance now for Gregory. Can't see any obstacles really. Maybe the one the white's nearest to is going to be possibly. No, he's not going to play that one first, and in fact it'll pot now into the one that he's just played that yellow into, so he'll probably play for it now, I would have thought. No, not now, so he gets on that one easy. That's his only tricky shot really, and that's good enough. He'll be able to screw back now on and off the cushion, jacking the cue up, I would have thought, and should be dot to dot thereafter. Just don't take your eye off the pot. Jacking up the cue sometimes makes it trickier than it looks. He didn't play off the cushion, so he must be happy enough. I think that would have given him a better angle, but still, I mean, shouldn't have a problem. Both yellows in the open. Had to play it in the corner, but no problem, as you see. Just needs to be a bit careful, I think, of the middle pocket here. Either screw past it, which he is playing. Yeah, that was nicely controlled. That wasn't as easy as it looked. Could easily have lost the white or even screwed in the middle. So Greg's got himself going by the look of it. It's 3-2 down now. He's won the last two, so Perry will be a bit disappointed with the way his opportunity finished. He had a good chance there to make it 4-1. Obviously there's a big difference between that and 3-2, so momentum shifted possibly, but such a long game that these early stages probably aren't as important as certainly the middle and the end stages. Surely something's going to go in. That's amazing. But it looks as though he's been a little bit lucky. If Greg can pot a red, he's going to have one difficult red, the one that's nearest the cue ball right now. And I don't think he can pot a yellow, so it's going to take something pretty good for him to clear up, but he's not even entertaining that. It's just a containing safety. That's a pretty good one from Perry, so maybe we'll see a little bit of this before someone gets a chance at a pot. I think it's left Perry the possibility of potting one of those yellows, but he may not even play it, although it's tough to see what he can do if he's not going to play a pot. He might need some serious equipment to pot this one near the corner, unless he can reach it like this. He may be able to clip the one to the middle, but that's a very difficult pot, and if he got it, he would fancy winning the frame, but if he missed it, he would fancy it would lose him the frame, so be interested to see what he does here. He can reach this one. So it was not Greg's best shot probably there. He didn't have to leave that possibility. And the fact that he has may well cost him the frame. It's easy to get lazy with shots like that. You don't give them the full concentration that you give normal shots. So just a matter of controlling the cue ball as far as it looks. The one nearest the cue ball now might give him the most trouble, but wouldn't be surprised to see him play this one near the right corner. Take the cue ball across the table to play for the one possibly on the left cushion. I think that's what he played. Well, he's been lucky there. He can play the one now that was his most awkward ball, and it should be pretty plain sailing if he can pot this. Just the fact that he's nudged the yellow nearer the cushion shouldn't make too much of a difference. They're not too difficult down these cushions. He's going to play it now, so it's going to be dead weight. And if he pots it, just one decent positional shot off the last yellow. So it's all mostly going to be about this pot. And there you see, they don't need to be bang in the middle, that's for sure. So you can be pretty comfortable playing those. In fact, he didn't even need to play it dead weight. He had it quite firm, and he's left it so that this is quite a straightforward positional shot. And he's not played it too well, so this is a tougher pot than it needed to be, although he's straight down and back up again. I think he played for that in the middle, but now middle, I guess he'll try and play it in the corner, but it might be a bit off in the middle. Cue ball might be running into the middle pocket, so I'll be interested to see. He's playing it in the corner to hit the red with the white, I think. He avoided the middle, that's the main thing, so Perry's 4-2 in front. So Greg has potted one off the break. They haven't gone brilliant, but I suppose there's a possibility if he can cut this red in and maybe knock the other one away from the cushion, he might need some luck with the white, but that might give him a chance of a clearance. I'm sure he'll be looking at, the first thing he'll be looking for is some route to make things available for a clearance. I can't see him taking yellows just because he can't really pot one. It looks like he will be clipping this red in. Well, he wants to. It might just be too thin to cannon the other one out. so can't really see what he's going to do now. But he's found a great double there and he's been very unlucky. So Perry's going to have a chance to be 5-2 in front now, and that's unfortunate for Greg. It wasn't easy to see a shot there, and he found a very difficult double. Played it excellently. Always trust the luck a little bit with the white, but he was unlucky. It went in off about 6 different balls, and with 2 shots the way Perry's looked so far, I'd be amazed if he didn't win the frame from here. Looks like the black's freely available into a number of pockets, and I don't know why he was going near the black there with the white. He didn't need to be. So he's going to go the hard way about it. Still, I mean, could possibly play the yellow that's nearest the white as a double into the right hand corner, bump into the black, and if he doesn't get it, it's still a great chance with his second visit. I'm sure that's what he will play. That's the only yellow he can hit, so he'd be playing that one in some form. Maybe he's not going to cannon the black. Maybe that's his problem. He thinks the white is going to be a bit loose if he plays that. But even so, he could just bump it off the cushion and leave them all in the open. Maybe he's looking at cutting it onto the other yellow. I'm not sure that he could control the white if he plays that shot, so we'll see how this works out. And he was close to the middle, that's why I may have erred against that shot, but it's worked out okay. In fact, it wasn't quite as thin as I thought that shot was, so the white wasn't all over the place, although he did nearly go in off. But I think it's worked out okay that he'll feel as though he should win the frame now. Interesting that he's playing this one instead of the one to the middle. And again, the white is a bit clumsy, bumping into different balls. If he's on this, it's not going to matter too much. But even if he is on it, the position isn't 100% straightforward. Not with the one on the left-hand cushion. He'd want to play that as a plant onto the other one, but he may only be able to screw into the red that he's next to, so that won't be possible. So we'll see. Well, he's missed the yellow, so he's making hard work of things in the last couple of frames. He's had chances. So obviously his tough one now is the one that's near the two yellows. He may play the one that he's got his cue next to now, with lots of left hand side, trusting a little bit to luck with the white, but that gives him a chance of bumping into the yellow. And he didn't play that shot, but whatever he played I'm sure didn't work as he intended, so I think he's covered the yellow near the corner, so if so he's not left Perry an easy chance, or any chance for that matter, of potting one, unless he plays a plant. But he may play the plant knowing that he can take the pocket if he misses it. So both players needing a couple of chances to close a frame out just now. It's not as free flowing as it may well be eventually. Sometimes if your opponent is struggling, you can struggle to put him away in some cases. Strange how that happens, but you see it so often. Sometimes you need your opponent to be playing well to bring the best out of you, and in this case they're both just missing a few, maybe dragging each other down a tiny bit, but I've no doubt that will improve as the game goes on. So it's 4-3 now to Perry. Hi Alice Moulders, nice to have you with us. Another dry break for Perry, so it's kind of working with the fact that it's not a free-flowing game, that neither player can really capitalise with the advantage of breaking. And they spread a little bit better than Perry's last break, so Greg will immediately be looking for a clearance, I'm sure. Both sets of balls are there, and just going to take some working out whichever one he chooses. Starting with this red, so that's a pretty good shot. You can play the one that was tricky to get on. He got on it straight away. The red nearest the bulk line still pots in at least the right hand middle. So in two shots he's made it into a very good chance, and maybe one tricky positional shot coming up now. The fact that he's put the yellow there, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just be easier if you didn't have to play cannons or or trickier pots. He may not even need to play a cannon now, so he can play this red into the corner. I don't think the red near the bulk line pots into this right corner, so he may play for it in the middle. So it must pot past the yellow, so there'll be no problems now. Just draw the white back a few inches, and for the first time we're going to be level, with 4 frames each. Off the near knuckle, but same result. So it's warming up a little bit. So it was a good opening yellow from Perry. Just nudged the 2 yellows together there, but the one on the left cushion looks very tricky. He may just play to take the top left pocket with that yellow, cut it down the cushion. That will give him some pretty good control, I think. So just start struggling a little bit. He has lost 4 of the last 5 frames, so it's difficult to keep up momentum and keep confident and play with the same conviction when you're on a bit of a losing streak. the containing safety from Greg. Made sure he covered the yellow at the top left of the table in case Perry wanted to take the pocket, but he may be able to play the one on the left cushion. He may have interest in potting it, but I doubt it. He may well just want to cover the pocket as best he can, and it's just short pace, so again, I wouldn't be shocked to see Greg try and open things up here, but he's going to take the pocket also, and that's a better shot, so going to be some pull left in this frame. Maybe Perry can sneak this yellow behind Greg's red there. Maybe Greg hasn't taken the pocket completely, or maybe he's going to try and cut it behind the red that's nearest to it and take that pocket instead. That's obviously the easier shot by the look of it. Don't think there is room behind the yellow the red that's near his hand, so he'll be trying to take the other pocket. Oh, he has played it, and that looked always to be the case. Although maybe now he thinks there's a chance for a clearance. Maybe he played to pot that. It certainly looked like it, how hard he hit it. I think he can play a double on the bottom of the two yellows. And if so, it's half a chance. He's just looking to see whether the one yellow passes the other into the corner. Still going to be tricky. There's going to need to be some pretty acute cue ball control. Oh, he could pot it in the middle, but again, he's missed it, so Greg will probably just take the corner pocket back. We may be looking at a double here. Well, I don't know what he's playing. He may be trying to develop the one off the left side cushion, which he has done. He's been a little unlucky where it's landed, but I don't know if it's a real chance for a clearance, but he may have seen something that I've missed. I'll be a little surprised if he doesn't take the pocket, but he's looking at playing the one red off the other to take the pocket. Hard to tell if that's on. I think that is what he's going to play. Oh, he's played to pot it, so he must feel as though he can develop the red that's tied up by a yellow with one of his other reds, but he can't do that from the position he's in now. So I think if he was planning on making a heroic clearance, he's going to have had a change of plan now. Believe it or not, I wouldn't be surprised to see him clear these up, but I'm sure that given the situation he won't be playing to. Although he's winding up here for something. Now that's an excellent shot. He's been unlucky again. If the red just stopped 2 inches short of where it did, he may be able to develop the other red while potting it, but I don't think he can even pot it where it's landed. That was an excellent shot. I know I'd have tried taking that pocket about 4 minutes ago, but he's always looking for the offensive, and I think he's doing the same again. He may be able to pot this off the yellow, I'm sure, with some left hand side. Oh, he's taking the pocket now, and he's been unlucky again, so well, just can't quite get anything working here. I'm sure there were points there when he was thinking of a clearance, and the last shot was definitely a safety shot, but neither attack or defense has come together yet, so difficult to see now what you can do with the red that's by the 2 yellows. And if he pots one from here, I'll be amazed. I'm sure that's the end of this visit. So, at first glance, I can't see an easy safety either. All of Perry's yellows are available, and I can't see a place Greg can put the white where he doesn't leave at least one pot on. So, whatever Greg's overall plan was in this frame, it's definitely not gone too well. Can't see if the red by the 2 yellows can take a pocket, but either way you can't see it, so anything could happen here. Oh, I see, he's playing it slow. No, that's a good shot. He's made sure he's covered that yellow, I think, and if he has, it is a good shot. It's going to make it harder for Perry to clear. That was excellent judgment. I'm sure if he can see to play the plant that he'd like to screw up the table and play this yellow near the bulk line into the middle off the yellow that's near the middle, hence freeing that yellow from the red. That will give him a chance to clear up. I don't know if he spotted that. I'm sure he'd play it if he had it done, unless this pots. I can't. Well, he could roll it in off the near jaw, so it's a good chance. And another slightly bitty frame. Just taking some time to decide whether to play the plant first or the open red. If he plays the open, yellow, if he plays the open yellow, he just wants to make sure he leaves the plant so that he can get on the one he's hitting after he's played the plant. Doesn't want to lose the white or snooker himself, and that's about as good as he could have got. So now he can just play the plant, knowing that he will be on the second yellow after he plays it. So he's going to be hitting the red after this shot, but should be able to control the white, I think. Though the black doesn't pot in the middle, which is going to make things a little awkward. But a lot of bottom and left. Well, what am I talking about? He could avoid the red anyway. So looks as though Perry will take the lead back, barring a pretty bad miss on this black. So Perry is 1 in front again. Again, Perry seems to break off with the intention of sending the white into the side cushion and kind of back into the balls. Certainly split them well most of the match, but very, very often they've been dry. So, and this is a good chance for Greg to get back level. One yellow on the top cushion, but everything else is easy enough. Should be able to get on that at some stage. If he plays this one in the bulk end of the table, controlling the white won't be easy. He'd like to get it out of the way now. Lots of bottom and right, and he's judged that very well. So just a matter of when he chooses to play for the one on the cushion. Some people have a preference of playing for it early, so you've got several other balls to play for afterwards. Some people like to leave it to the end, knowing that you only have to get on the black afterwards, but that way you put all your eggs in one basket, really, that you have to get on it in that shot. There's several ways you can go about this. You might play for it now, although you might want to wait for a better opportunity to get on it, but if he plays a touch of top left, he could get across the table, pot the yellow into the same pocket, and he's played it very well again. So he's starting to control the white ball a lot better. There's not too much pressure on this pot, so I expect he'll get it. He'll take the pocket if he misses it. And now just don't snooker yourself behind the black, and we're going to be level again. Well, if the black doesn't go to the right middle, he's made this a tiny bit awkward for himself, but I'm sure he'll find a place for it. And lots of top on and off the cushion to get back across the table, so he can play this into one of two pockets. He's more comfortable, I think, in pumping it into a straight pocket like so. He seems to prefer that to clipping it in middle dead weight when the white's loose and you can roll off or anything can happen. So it's 5-all. Well, it amazes me, but there we go. Another dry break. The one thing about this game that gets me quite angry as it happens. You just wouldn't believe it, would you? And they've managed to go pretty awkward again. You can't see the clearance on either balls straight away, so he's playing to develop something here, and it's gone quite well. Now there's only one difficult ball, which will need knocking out, the one that's nearest the bulk line. So that was a successful shot. It was a good shot from Perry there, and he may have the angle now of the second red from the right, the middle of the three reds up here, to cannon into that yellow and stay on the other red. That's what he's played and been a tiny bit unlucky. And now he may struggle for another chance to develop that red. That may have been quite an important shot in this frame. The one he's going to have to, well, the one in the middle of the table is the one he'd like to play the cannon off of. But if he doesn't play that red now, the break can't continue past the next shot, so it's just gone a little bit awkward, I think. Oh, I don't know what he's going to do. He's got an easy pot on the one in the middle of the table, but he really doesn't want to move that. He wants that to be the penultimate red that he pots, and developing the last one there by his hand there. But there's no real value in dropping the one in that's over the pocket, so I'll be interested to see what he does end up doing. So he's played to pot that one. You can always just go gun-ho and play to pot that one and just hope that you get half a chance to develop the last red, but you often have to play such a good shot in order to do it. He's looking at playing the red off the yellow. Maybe, I'm sure he can't pot it that way, but he may be able to take the pocket, take a bit of control in the frame. And he's going to play it now, and he's done neither, so good chance for Greg this. That's a surprising miss. He's held his hand up there. He's been a little lucky in a sense, but I mean, Perry would much prefer that Greg missed it and got a bit lucky than potted it. And if he could pot this red that's nearest the white and somehow get on the one over the pocket that's under him right now, it would be a good chance, but this is thin and he's stretching over that red, and it's a good pot, and that's been unlucky the way the red snookered him. So the yellow rather, if the yellow hadn't snookered him, he could have stunned across, I'm sure, got somewhere near that last red and had a chance. Now he may be snookered completely on both the reds, which he is, so don't know if he wants this in or not, I suppose. White's landed awkward, so it's not worked out badly. Well, it wasn't that awkward. Greg could pot that yellow, but I'm not sure what he's gained from it. I'm going to play a little snooker now. Oh, maybe not. He's queuing up a bit. If he's covered the one over the pocket, it's a nice shot. It looks like he has done. Perry may be able to swerve it, but relying a lot on luck as to what the white does after a shot like that. It is possible if he swerved round it and caught the right hand side of the red as he's looking, the side would take the white somewhere near the other red. But he's not playing that. It may not be possible to swerve. It's a good hit. I'm sure Greg will be going for the clearance now. Just has to get on the right hand side as we look of the yellow on the top cushion. And then of course he has to get somewhere behind the black. I think he's looking at playing the black out now. He's going to try and cannon the black away from where it is. And that's a good shot. He's also got on the red on the yellow on the cushion. If he chooses to play it, it looks a bit nasty from here. If he gets it, he fancy winning the frame, but he may wait to play it later on. It looks like he's going to play it now. If the yellow and black have gone too awkward, he can play to cannon them now as well. But the pot was important and he's got a nice rub. That was a good shot. Really, as long as he potted the yellow, he'd still have a fighting chance, but getting the cannon as well, that's worked out. It's worked out perfect, really. Still not absolutely perfect. You can see him looking at all the options now. So neither one is straightforward. He's trying to choose the best one he likes the look of the most in order to get position nicely enough to just make it dot to dot. Looks like he's playing the one next to the red now, so I'm sure he'll play this one. Well, followed by either yellow he chooses really, but the one by the black he may choose to play for now. It doesn't really matter, so he's just going to make sure he gets everything absolutely right. You never forgive yourself if you mess up something like this just for not taking enough time. So Greg's in front for the first time. Perry's really struggling with the break, so this would be a good time for Greg to clear up off that dry break from Perry and to go 2 in front. It'd be a significant switch in momentum. Starting to move quicker between shots, and that's always a sign of confidence, obviously. And you know, to me it looks like this clearance could go wrong, but he's moving through it quickly, which shows that he can see it very clearly, see what he's going to do from shot to shot, and he's making things look very easy. This is a little bit worrying for Perry when your opponent has really taken more time and really struggled to win frames in one visit, and suddenly he goes 1 in front and he starts doing that. You think, I wonder if he's just going to leave me behind here. Perry will be keen, if Greg does happen to win this frame now, be keen to get back level. It sounds obvious, as soon as possible, but if Greg did happen to go 3 or 4 in front, even though it's still a long way to go, you'd really feel like you're climbing uphill just because of the way the match has gone up to now. Where it's been kind of scrappy, and now suddenly the guy's kicking into gear. And he's knocked the black so that it pots into the corner, which he's just checked, and if that's the case, this has gone very nicely. Pretty straightforward positional shot, and a straightforward black for 7-5. Well played, Greg. So I think Perry will feel these next 2 are quite important, and Greg will be keen to break and clear now and maintain the control that he's seemingly picked up over the last few frames. But Perry will be pleased to see it's dry, so this is an important chance, I think. Still early, obviously, but Perry will feel a lot better if he can win this frame one way or the other, but in one visit would be nice. It looks like yellows, but he may see a reason to play the reds. I think he'll start with this yellow near the bulk line. I think he only has to screw on and off the cushion, the side cushion, to leave a yellow to the top right corner, but maybe he doesn't like the look of it too much. Now he played it with bottom left to really get down there, and he's on 1 to the bottom right corner as we look, so that was a nice shot. So he's got a chance now. The yellow that's nearest to black, if it pots in the right middle, he wants to play for that now. I think that's the only yellow that we may bump into it now. And he's tried to bump into it, and he may have left himself the yellow to one of the bottom pockets. He'd like something a little bit easier than this, but the white and yellow are close together, but there you see, when things don't go as easy as you plan them to, they can feel like harder pots than they really are, and he wasn't very close to that. And Greg's left the perfect angle straight away to develop his only awkward red, and this should hurt Perry if he loses this frame at this visit. That was a great opportunity. He played a pretty bad positional shot with a touch of bad luck, and then a pretty bad miss. But he's under pressure just now. Greg's playing a lot better, a lot quicker, and it's really clear that he's getting more and more confident. So Perry would have been feeling it there a little bit. He'd have been feeling the pressure, I imagine, and Greg's not played the best shot there. I'm sure he knew he was cannoning the yellow, but he didn't allow. He didn't hit it as thin as he would have wanted, so the white stayed up higher up the table than he'd have wanted it to. But 8-5 to Greg now, and a little bit worrying for Perry just now. So Perry's troubles with the break continue. It's just kind of getting worse for him at the minute. And again, Greg's going from shot to shot as if he hasn't got a care in the world. He's definitely kind of peaking in confidence now. And it's as though Perry can't get anything going at all. I think they're having a break after the 17th frame, so that probably can't come soon enough for Perry. But he wouldn't mind winning a frame or two before that. I really think the longer this goes on, the more inevitable it looks. But still a long way to go. I think the fact the white's so close to the cushion has made this a little bit awkward. If he could screw back, he could probably get on a yellow, but the fact that he can't, I'm not sure what you can really do. He might have to leave a thin cut into the middle, but then, which he's looking at now, but then position on the last yellow will be a lot down to luck. I can't tell if it's a plant, the two yellows together. I don't think they are. He's going to try and make it. And the first yellow will be bouncing on and off the cushion here, I think, so there'll be a little bit of luck involved where it lands. It's not what he would have been wanted to have been playing, but he's seeing things well at the moment, and that was the problem. He may be able to take the pocket still, squeezing the yellow between the red and the cushion. But even so, Perry will be relieved. It looks like he'll be coming back to the table, unless there's a double on. And he's played the double, so Perry needs to make the most of this chance. Can straight away develop the red on the right hand cushion, and they should all be pretty straightforward. I think the black pots fairly comfortably in the middle. So this is the sort of chance he would have wanted after a few frames kind of being left out, really. Well, he's brought the black out, so now everything's perfect. So Perry has stopped the rock. So the players took their break after the 14th frame instead, so I think they're playing now to a finish. It looks as though Perry's lost the white here a little bit, and if he can't play a plant into the left corner, then I don't think he has a shot on. I don't think this doubles. He may be cutting it in the middle, but it looks tight. He doesn't like it, so it looks as though Greg will come back to the table. Okay, he didn't quite get on that, so Greg is back, but looks as though Perry's had a bit of good fortune. Well, Greg can pot the red that he's looking at now. And all he can do is pot the red past the black into the top corner, so I'm sure he'll play it. And the two reds on the side cushions are going to give him some difficulty. If he can get nicely on one of them at some point, and he may have a chance to do that now, then he may play from one to the other, or he may use one of the other balls as a fill-in shot, but so he's going to have to go from one to the other on the side, the two reds on the side cushions, which is never easy. He's going to make sure he leaves a lot of angle on the first one, whichever one that may be. He may just drop this in dead weight and play the one on the left cushion as we look now, or he could play either one. He's going to play the other one, or is he? This is a tougher pot that he's looking at now, and he has to hit it harder for position. It wouldn't surprise me if he played the one that's on the bulk line. And also this one has awkward cueing. This is not an easy shot, and he's played it well. So just 100% on this pot now. The white should look after itself. And that was the easier of the two pots, and once he got the first one, you thought he would get that one, so that was a nice clearance. That was not easy. And that's 9-6 to Greg now. And the white's in again off Perry's break, so he's really struggling to take full advantage of the advantage of breaking. He'll probably look back and say being 9-6 down when all but one of his breaks have gone wrong isn't the end of the world. Well, in trying to make something happen, he's made quite a good job of it. There's a couple of awkward balls. If the one by the black pots, which I don't think it does, then just the one next to the 3 yellows on the left, he'll have to play for it in the middle unless he moves it, or possibly in the corner past the black. So we'll see how he goes about that in a minute. Don't think he can play for it off this shot. Well, maybe a plant by the black, that would make things easier, but he's not playing it, so well, he may have an angle now, and that could be an excellent shot if he's got an angle to rest on the yellow on the side cushion and play the red into the opposite corner. No, he's not played that, but now he can just play this red to the centre, probably rub off the black and the red, and he may leave himself the awkward red into the other middle. Well, the one by the black pots into some pockets, hard to tell how many, but he's desperately hoping it pots into the corner that he was looking at, because he's not played a good shot, lost the white onto the cushion. So if it does, he'll be 100% for this pot, and it's a good pot, so if this red goes, then it's another good clearance, and the way they were at the start, it would be an excellent clearance. In fact, this must be tight. He's given it a lot of time. And it must have been very tight. It must have been trying to pot it off the far jaw, and so Perry's hanging on. If he can win this frame, he may be able to develop the difficult yellow straight away, and he could. He played it well. So if he can pinch this frame, it'd be 9-7. Well, for a time it looked as though it could be, well, it could be 11-5 or 10-6 by now. So he'll probably be the happier of the two if he can pinch this frame now. Another good shot, develop that yellow, so he's not got to play any difficult pots now as a result of those 2 cannons he's played. As long as he doesn't leave distance between the white and the last yellow, which will be the one that's nearest the cushion there, then it should be no problem. And that'll depend on whether he can get an angle off the penultimate yellow, which he has done by the look of it, so he can get fairly close to this. If he'd finished straight there, it might have been interesting, but he left a good angle, so it looks as though it's going to be 9-7, and this is an interesting game. And both players are starting to play a lot better now. It's a lot more flowing than it was earlier. So it could be an exciting last half of this match. It looks as though he thinks yellows are on if he can pot this first one down the cushion, so if he pots this, you'd fancy him to clear it. That's a good pot. But it looks as though when he moves the yellow that's near the black will pot into the corner. So it's pretty straightforward. These were the sort of clearances that they were making look a little harder earlier on, but now they're both, especially Greg, is in full swing by the look of it. He wouldn't have played that, but he may be able to cannon the black again now off the shot after this. But he would have preferred to have not nudged the black. I think it potted as it was. So he's going to play the cannon off the last yellow, I would suspect, which can go wrong. He's going to have to get perfectly on it, and even then he'll need a bit of luck. He may play it off this shot. He could play it off the side cushion with bottom and right hand side and try and aim for the black. We'll see what he does. He's queuing up like he might be doing that. Okay, so he's played for the last one. So I think he needs a cannon here of some sort. Black doesn't pot anywhere. He's going to be playing with lots of top and right hand side off the cushion, and if he gets a good contact on the black, then it should be potable after this shot. So and when you're playing with so much side, it can, well, it makes the pot a lot harder. And he played it with too much bottom, I think more higher on the white, but then, you know, it's hard to tell what sort of angle he had. So that was definitely a chance. I think if Greg loses this frame, you know, he may start to doubt his clearing, because it was going quite nicely a few frames ago, but now he's just making things a little difficult. He'll really want to keep momentum and win this frame, even though he hasn't done it in one visit. To keep his 3-frame lead. Perry's going to have the same problem with the black. He's going to need to play a cannon. It really looks like the plant is on to play the cannon. The plant to the top left. corner pocket. It's a pretty natural angle to cannon the black and 2 reds. I think he's looking at it now, possibly. He's looking at it now, so this shot could really win in the frame if he plays it. I think he's looking away from it again now. The plant may not be set, in which case he may not want to take the risk. He has a degree of control now, so he may not want to waste that. And he can play it now if he wishes, probably off 2 cushions with right hand side. There's the right hand side, and it's a little unlucky. He's kind of running out of chances for that if he is going for the clearance. Well, which he will be, I'm sure. If he plays it now, he's going to need, I think, to play with a touch of the left hand side, possibly. Don't think it's a plain ball angle. Or he could play the shot he just played, bottom and right hand, well, right hand side, swing it off 2, but that doesn't look to be on either. So he'd really like to have got the cannon there on that last attempt. It's made things a little bit tricky now that he hasn't. And he's played a snooker now, so that's probably the right shot. It's and if Greg just hits the yellow, then he's still in the frame. He's not left Perry an easy chance. Perry's going to need to play a better snooker than that to really gain an advantage off it. Might play a double and possibly take the pocket, possibly get the double. I think that is what he's played. Don't want the yellow to go in. So whether or not it's a foul snooker, it's a big let off for Greg there. And this is quite tricky to judge what the black's going to do with the first shot. If he plays it how he's looking now, he's going to nudge it towards the left corner, as long as he doesn't hit it too hard. Or he may hit it hard and bring it right up the table. That was a good shot. He could have lost the black there, he could have snookered himself on it, but he judged it well, and Greg is 10-7 up. There's Perry's break again, hitting the side cushion after contact, and I can't say I'll be trying that break off myself. He's really struggled with it. Half a chance possibly on yellows for Greg. wonder if he'll play the two yellows near the black that he's queuing over. He may try and cannon them now. Oh, it may not be on actually. No, it wasn't on. But he will probably play it now. Try and hit the black. Probably full ball maybe, or half ball on the left as he will look at it. To try and get the white free. Yeah, full ball contact was good, and still work to do, yeah. He's knocked one yellow towards the right middle, which is kind of blocking his path to the yellow that's near the side cushion. He's going to need to play a better shot to get on that eventually. And he's still got room that he could do it off, but he has a little bit of work to do before he gets to that last yellow. So he's not hit that as hard as he planned, so well, he looks as though he's confident that he can just roll it in and bring the white across the table to play the yellow on the cushion into the right hand corner. Oh, he's played a double and for it in the left hand corner, and that was a great shot. Now it's pretty straightforward to, as long as he gets the pot, the white should look after itself with a bit of bottom. He's got a lot of room to get on that last yellow. Now he's even on it. If he is on it, he's left some distance and shaking his head as if he's not on it. If he was, it still would have taken a good pot, but he won't be too thrilled that he's not even on it. He had a fair bit of room. He could even have used the cushion. Use the cushion as a guide. I'm surprised that he didn't use the cushion as a bit of a guide and just try to rest on or just off the cushion. So again, it looks as though Perry's going to come back. You never know. And he would not have thought he was coming back for a minute. That's a pretty good effort. So Greg just can't quite pull away as he threatened to a few frames ago. And it looks like Perry's going to play the snooker. Try to get two shots where he can really guarantee clearing up. Seems to have made quite a good job of this. It's not too easy to hit. If he plays the way he's queuing up to, he needs a lot of right hand side, and then judge the gap, which he has done. It's an excellent shot, and he's been unlucky. That was a good hit. If the white doesn't go in, he's really in the frame. But as it is, it's difficult to see Perry messing up with two visits from here. Don't blame him for playing this one first. He'd really like it to go in. So it's going to have to do it with one visit. Doesn't look like a problem, but the psychological difference is pretty significant. With two, you really feel like you can't fail, but with one, Only takes one slight mishap. He's played that pretty nicely. And in playing this one, he'll leave an angle off a red to the left corner, the top left corner as we look, to bring those awkward two in. And as long as he gets the red that he's going to cannon off the cushion, doesn't stick it to the cushion, there's really nothing that can go wrong, and he's got it off the cushion. So it's a bit of a let off. It would have been a great clearance from Greg again, but just failed to get on the last yellow. And if Perry does pot these last 5 balls, he'll be relieved to still be in it at 10-8 if he clears. Just got this knack of bumping into balls, but I think he can still drop this one in the left middle for the other one to the right middle. Well, he's jacking up, so maybe he can't do that. He's going to use the bulk cushion. It's a good shot. He's got a choice of either ball now. Well, he just really will be disappointed not to have won the frame from there. He was never perfect, and as easy as it looks, if you're not perfect, it just plays on your mind a little bit. You feel like you give yourself a bit of a bollocking for not being perfect. And it can go wrong, and Perry's just shown that that can happen at any time when you least suspect it. So that was a real let off for Greg, and it's 11-7 now. So again, as earlier on, the next 2 frames for Perry are going to be important. If he loses both of them, you really will fancy Greg. If Perry wins one of them, then the next 2 frames again will be important for him. If he really wants to win both of these frames and get back to within 2. And Greg's potted off the break here, so without being brilliant, his break has definitely been the better of the 2, and started potting somewhat regularly off his break. I think he's nominated red, so again, just one difficult ball, as there always seems to be. Well, not so much difficult as awkward. He may play to get on that one now. No, he's not. Oh, unless he can play it in the middle. It's a pretty good shot. If that's what he's played and he's on it, that's a good shot. This is the only obstacle that I can see. Well, having said that, there is some care to be taken over these last few shots. And he's straight down for the double, as if he's very confident of getting it. And that's why I hate doubles. He was down as if it was no problem, and maybe maybe you'll say he could have taken a bit more time, but maybe a touch of frustration at the shot before, but they certainly needed working out those last few shots, and they weren't as easy. Well, Perry's really struggling just now. I think he's been lucky in the respect that Greg will really have to do something special to get on the last red. He's pointing his cue to where he wants the white to be, but I think he's going to have to hit at least 3 cushions, unless he can screw straight down. I might be seeing this wrong. Yeah, I don't think that was on. It may have been. So both players missing a few now. Yeah, I don't blame Perry for having a little walkabout here, just collect himself again. He's really lost his potting, especially in the last frame and a half. If that yellow pots, that's a good shot. It looks as though that does pot. He's given it a long hard look, but if it doesn't, then it wasn't a good positional shot. But if it does, and he's played for it, it was an excellent shot, because that really is the ball that will give him the chance to win the frame if he pots it. I don't know what's in the way, whether the red's in the way or the other yellow, but he's not playing the pot here, so and no, I think he's just done a good enough job of that. He stopped Greg from potting it to the middle, which, well, Greg's given it a good look. He's playing it with left hand side to straighten it up. I just don't think he can quite pot it. Well, now he's looking at a double in the corner. This would be a way to pot a ball. If I'm Perry here, I want Greg to be playing this. This would be a 1 in 1,000. And it's led to Perry's chance to win the frame. So again, he's a little bit loose, but he should be able to pot this to the middle, and in fact it may have worked out well. He can cannon the yellow away from the black. So he won't lie down. He's going to be 3 behind again, barring a mistake here. And Greg just can't get far enough in front to really relax. Well, he nearly missed the yellow and nearly put the white in. It's not convincing, but you'll take it any which way you can at the moment. And another slightly unconvincing shot, but he'll feel pretty comfortable playing this. If he was to miss it, the white will be close enough to the top cushion. But you never want to give anybody a chance, even at an obscure clearance. And I would certainly want this in. I wouldn't want to take any chances. And he's potted it. A nice pot. So it's 11-8 now. So another dry break for Perry, and they've split well enough that Greg will fancy his chances now. That's a pretty good shot if he can follow it up with another one. If this goes in, then that last shot has worked out very well. Slightly awkward cueing, and the type of ball you can miss very easily if you don't hit it well, so that's in. So wouldn't imagine Greg making a mistake from here, but he's just slowed up just lately from earlier in the match. He seemed to get going, and just taking his foot off the gas, so to speak, a little bit, unintentionally obviously, but this could kick-start him again, be back 4 in front, and he's made very light work of this clearance, made it look easy. So Greg's 4 in front again, 12-8. That was a good pot. So again, Greg potted off the break, and he's going to make another clearance as long as that slows down. So for the first time, Greg is 5 in front, 4 away. Oh, I shouldn't say that yet. This is missable. So he's 5 in front and 4 away from victory, and Perry really needs something now off his break. He's not going to win the match if he can't pot off the break. He's too far behind now, I think. Hooray. Well done, Perry. It's probably gonna choose reds, but well, he has chosen reds, so I believe that's the second time in the whole match Perry's potted off the break, and I really feel like he has to make it count. That's not too bad. He's got a tricky pot now along the cushion, but he will be on the next red if he pots it plain ball. That's a good pot. It's the type of ball he's been missing just lately, especially with awkward queuing. But he's really gonna have a tough positional shot, assuming that he plays the one on the cushion second from last, and which he is doing. The pot is not straightforward. He's played it quite well though. I think if he pots this plain ball, the white will go between the two yellows next to the black and leave the red in the middle. And that's what's happened. That's an excellent shot. He left it so that he could concentrate on the pot, which made the position easier, and that in turn makes the pot easier. The second from last shot he played there was an excellent shot. It looked simple, but he had to leave it just so. That was nicely done. That's the best frame Perry's played probably in the whole match. And another couple like that, and it's really going to be interesting again. So Greg 4 in front again, 13 frames to 9. So he'll have the break now. Greg's got to grips with the break just lately, or he's just getting luckier. One of the two. I believe there's a lot of luck in the break, but and the reds have gone pretty well again. So if Greg was to keep up what's happening at present, which is good open breaks, something going in, and him winning the frames, then obviously Perry isn't going to win. He's definitely going to need Greg to slow up a little bit on his breaking success. He's thrown in a surprise miss there, but he'd be disappointed. That was a good chance, but it may not cost him the frame just yet. Maybe not this visit. There's a small chance he may go for a clearance if he can develop the yellow furthest to the left of the table, which he's played and not really developed, so we may have seen him go all out for it if he got that yellow out in the open. In fact, I'm sure of it. And he needs to be careful. The reds are very on, so even more so now. So he's not too pleased with that shot. If Greg was to get in and possibly fall down, it would have been that red that he's just knocked in the open. So he really can't leave Greg a chance now. He'll have no hope. That's an excellent pot. Stuck on the yellow. I don't think it doubles to the middle. It may double to the corner, but I don't think he can control the white. So Greg's in a very strong position now in this frame. And he doesn't like any of this. He can't, like me, he can't see a shot that he can play really and gain an edge. This may be a hit nope. Well, I don't know if there's anything to make Perry feel better about that, is that he probably couldn't clear anyway. It looked pretty controlled, the pace of the shot. He may well have played that. It was an excellent effort if he did. It wasn't a smash and hope by any means. But the fact that it hasn't gone in, and it was a pretty desperate situation for Perry, means that Greg has got a dot-to-dot chance to extend his lead again. Quite interesting the way he's played that, but don't quite understand what he was playing for there. I guess the one that he's going to play, let's see if he plays it first. The one furthest to the right, as we look, I believe is the one he played for. For some reason, he still should be okay. And as long as he hits this hard enough, I think he's going to play it with top and left hand side, as long as he doesn't snooker himself behind the yellow, and he made sure of that. But in making sure of that, he's put the white pretty close to the side cushion, so if he's playing this slow, it's missable. I think he needs to play it pretty slow and it can roll off or anything, but that's a good shot. Black obviously pots. So it's 14-9 now to Greg, and he's 3 away from victory. So Perry's break. Well, it's starting to happen for him now, and he'll be open. It's not too little too late. His break has really been absent in this whole game. It's really deserted him up until now, and he really needs, well, you would think he needs 3 at the next 4 frames. And it's a chance certainly on the yellow balls, so use that to run on. He just makes hard work of it, it seems, all through the match. He's not really kind of got flowing properly. He's going to have to play a good shot here and probably be a bit lucky to get on the next ball. And it's made it a tough part. I don't know if he played for this, the yellow in the bulk end, or if he's just over hit it, but again, he's made a very decent chance for a clearance. Quite difficult for himself, and he knows he needs to take those chances. Still, it's not done yet in this frame. Oh, he's down quickly again to this one. It's the tough part, but he's played it very well. But not got nicely on the next red. This must be a straight double, I assume. It was a straight double, so well played, and a little bit lucky to have left it as easy as he made it look. So we could just do with taking a few seconds here, making sure that he gets this next positional shot perfect. This is interesting that he's taken that one. So maybe Greg can feel the winning line. I don't know. I don't really think he worries too much about stuff like that, but he's all through the game really, he's not been prolific in taking his frame winning chances as he's been known to. And again, Perry bumping into balls that he's not playing to. He just can't get going really, I suppose is the way to put it. Tough to see if this pot It looks like he's playing the pot. And it's a good pot. I think maybe he could have played for a double on the black, but the angle he's got on the yellow, I think he's going to have to play to knock the black out in some form. He wants to be careful of the corner pocket if he plays that shot. Or maybe he's looking at potting the yellow off the black and bringing the black out. I'm not too sure what's available to him. It may pot off the black. And then he's played to develop it and he's not played it well, so that was a difficult shot. To miss the corner pocket and to get the cannon was tough. The instinct is to play it with a lot of left hand side, but all that will achieve is what he's just done there, which is to straighten it up too much. And if he played it with less side, he might have gone in off, so that was a very sticky situation for him to be in. And he's going to be up against it again, and if he loses this frame, I really feel like he needs to win the next three. Might hit the red first here. Well, he didn't. But still a chance for Greg. That's quite a clever shot, to be honest. If he's worked that out, that's the best place really he could have left it, because Greg either has to make a very good pot now, the first shot, or if he pots the easiest one, his next pot's going to have to be a good one. I'm sure Perry just tried to hit it and get it near that pocket, I guess, and hope for a mistake from Greg, but as it's worked out, that's probably the most awkward spot it could have landed. And there's no glaringly obvious snooker Greg can play either, so I'm sure we're going to see him go for these. He either needs a very good positional shot now or a very good pot the next shot, and it's going to need to be a pretty good pot. And it's just awkward enough that there's a bit of hope for Perry in this frame. And Greg knows that one mistake should cost him the frame because the black's near enough the pocket. But he played that shot well. And he's looking like dropping this one in the middle and leaving a tricky last red. And he's going to play the red on the cushion first for another double. He's been kind of hit and miss with doubles, but he seems to have got on that quite well. I think he can screw straight back. It looks like a pretty straight double. It was a good shot. That was well played. So Greg's pulling away now. That's 15-9. And Perry needs to get moving pretty quickly, because he may feel as well that it's slipping away from him a little bit, but you know, one frame at a time is the truest saying. That really does make sense. You can't win 3 frames unless you win the first one first, and the momentum you can get from winning 1-2 frames, you know, Perry could win this match 17-15. It's not impossible, and the way to start that is just win the next frame that's in front of you. Hard to think like that. But while the other guy, I think in long matches, while the other guy is 2 frames away from victory, you're definitely in it no matter really how far you are behind. If it was, if it goes 16-9, then we may see him kind of just go for it really. But while it's 15-9, and Greg still needs 2 frames to win, I think, you know, there's always hope really to some extent. And he's got the first chance in this frame as a result of a dry break from Greg. There's another chance that I'm sure he takes out with ease the majority of the time. It's just not, it's not gone for him during the course of this match. He had a spell maybe 6 or 8 frames ago where he started to make it look kind of as easy as Greg has in patches also. But for the majority, he's really struggled in the balls. So he was going to leave this one till last on the cushion, and if he can't pop the yellow that he's closest to in the corner pocket, then it's not a good chance. He's looking at clipping it in the middle, I think, in which case he's going to bump into the other yellow, and he's going to be relying on luck with the position. But I don't think he's in the frame of mind to turn anything down at this point, and you can't blame him. That won't be the way to go now. But he's not rushing, he's really giving this some time, and his shot could turn his match if he pots this and gets on the other yellow. He's got a good contact on the other yellow, and he's been unlucky. Didn't miss that by a lot. He got a good hit on the other yellow, landed on it nicely. Greg moving about with ease again, and he's got a good pace around the table. But he's certainly not played at his best, and it's as if by playing quick he's trying to kind of get some momentum into himself, get some rhythm into himself. And he's probably been a little fortunate that his opponent has not performed also. And it's given him the freedom of being able to make a few mistakes. Looks good, and he's down very quickly, so he must be nicely on this red. Black can't be in the way, and he's going to be 1 away from victory when the black goes in, and it's 16 frames to 9. So there's nothing for it for Perry. He has to win the last 8 frames. Again, he's potted off the break. So he'd have liked to have started the match how he's finishing it breaking wise, but he's had chances also. So another very realistic chance for a clearance, not straightforward but realistic. See if he does adopt a kind of carefree approach that people tend to adopt when it seems as though hope is lost. And if so, if that, yeah, he was unlucky there. They looked in, but and if he does adopt that approach, if it pays off for him, it's not an easy clearance for Greg, so we may see Perry have another chance, but Greg will be full charge now for the winning line. I assume he'll be able to taste it. Any chance will look like a real match winning possibility to him, and this will be no different. I'm sure he'll probably fancy doing these. He's got a big cushion now. I think he's overrun that by 4 or 6 inches. He'd have liked to have been straight on the yellow into one of the bulk pockets. He doesn't want to drop it in the middle because I don't think there's a yellow that pots after it. He really wants to play it in the top with lots of top on the white, which makes it missable. And he has, oh my lord, it looked as though he missed it, but so he's going to need a good positional shot off the penultimate yellow. Looking at where he wants to leave the white, it looks as though that yellow pots into the 2 bulk pockets and 1 middle, so unlikely he'll get on it in the middle. He's really, well, he may have played to play this plain ball down the table and leave the yellow, the last yellow in the middle, but he doesn't have that angle, I believe, so he may have to play a spectacular shot here to get on the yellow. And it looks as though he's looking at playing a cock-at double possibly off the last yellow, so he mustn't have the angle that he played for on this penultimate yellow. And he's played for the cock-at double. This will be quite a way to win a match. So he's going for it. You'd think he'd lose the frame if he misses this. And as I mentioned, he had the big cushion of frames and he could go for a shot like that, and it's not worked out this time, so Again, on the first shot he's lost the white there, and I kind of hope he does win this frame. It's going to be a pretty bad way to lose if he doesn't take these out just because of a shot like that, and it won't be a nice way for him to end the match. He'll want to fight on for another frame, but he's going to need a good pot now to make sure of it. And it was a good pot. That's an excellent pot. Awkward queuing. So he'll probably play this plain ball across the table for the other red on the side, which he has done. Maybe a touch harder than he planned, but should be straightforward. So it looks as though it's going to be going into the 30th frame. Sorry, the 27th frame. So it's 16-10 now. That's the first time Greg's gone in off the break. You would assume he'll play the yellows just because of the safety net that he's got, that if he did miss he would have a pocket tied up, the pocket that's near the black. Well, not the pocket tied up, but a red for Greg would be awkward. He's taking the yellow, so may even take the other pocket now and try to get involved in a frame against Greg. Well, that's a good shot. It wasn't easy to snooker him. He had to make sure he got past the yellow, and he did. So he's made quite a good job of that. If he can get two, well, Greg's going to play a deliberate foul, and I think Perry can probably, if he was going to go all out for it, he could clip the yellow he's nearest to hard enough to knock the black and the yellow out into the open. And that's what he's done. I like that shot. As long as he's got a pot on. Well, he's been a little bit unlucky. He can't pot this yellow and get down the table. So he's looking at the yellow that's in the most central yellow in the table to see if he can take the pocket after potting this yellow, or maybe even pot the yellow past the black. And he's on it, so if it pots, we'll probably see him go for this. I'd like to see him play it soft. He can take the pocket if he misses it. I think he has the angle to play it soft and be on another yellow. Well, that's a good shot. It obviously didn't go. He's played it off the yellow, and that was an excellent shot. A tricky positional shot now. He's going to cannon at least one yellow. Well, he played the cannon very well, just forgot about the pot, which is easy to do. So Greg's got a battle on his hands to win this particular frame. Well, I'm assuming he's going to try and go for these, but he's starting to look now like he may not do, but nerve-wracking times for Perry just now. One really good shot from Greg and they could all come out, and it looks as though he is going for it. He's playing the cannon now. He got some good action on the white, but just missed the cannon. He didn't want that in.